My friend, I shall tell you the story of my life. It is the story of all life that is holy and good to tell, and of us two-legged sharing with the four-leggeds and the wings of the air and all green things. For these are children of one mother, and their father is one spirit.
The words of Black Elk, a holy man of the Lakota Sioux. In the early 1930s, an American poet, John Neihardt, came to visit Black Elk to ask him about the old times. The story that emerged was a journey into the very soul of the American West.
I am a Lakota of the Oglala Band. My father's name was Black Elk, and his father before him bore the name, and the father of his father. I was born in the moon of the popping trees, in the winter when the 4 crows were killed. And I was 3 years old when my father fought in the Battle of the 100 Slain. I had never seen a Wasichu then. I did not know what one looked like. But everyone was saying the Wasichus were coming and that they would take our country and rub us all out and that we should have to die fighting. It was the Wasichus who got rubbed out in that battle. But 100 Wasichus was not much. If there were others, and others without number, where those came from.
This is the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, a small stretch of land in modern-day America set aside for the people of the Lakota Sioux. It's one of the poorest places in the USA, plagued by alcohol abuse and disease. In the 1930s, this was where Black Elk lived. Neihardt found him outside his log cabin, with weeds growing out of the roof. It was a sad comparison to the life Black Elk had known as a child.
Once we were happy in our country, and we were seldom hungry. For then, the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds lived together like family. And there was plenty for them and for us. We cut teepee poles along the creeks of the Black Hills, and there was all we wanted to eat, for the hills were like a big food pack for our people. But then the Wasichus came, and they have made little islands for us. And these islands become ever smaller, for around them surges the gnawing flood of the Wasichu, and it is dirty with lies and greed.
When Black Elk was a child, the hunting grounds of the Sioux stretched across the Great Plains, over the Black Hills of South Dakota, all the way to the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Over this land roamed the buffalo herds, millions in number. But from the mid-1800s, the first Wasichu had arrived, the Sioux word for pale faces. First the traders and the trappers, then the pioneers and the settlers, and the soldiers needed to protect them. And the values of the Wasichu seemed very different from the values of the Lakota.
I can remember when the bison were so many that they could not be counted. But more and more Wasichus came to kill them. until there were only heaps of bones scattered. The Wasichus did not kill them to eat. They took only the hides to sell, sometimes only the tongues. And when there was nothing left but heaps of bones, the Wasichu came and gathered up even the bones and sold them.
Today in Pine Ridge, they still hold pow-wows, the old tribal gatherings. But keeping Lakota culture alive in the heart of modern America isn't easy.
We've been among the white men maybe over 150 years. And we're still trying to figure out how to live in this life, modern life. And we can't figure it out because it's two different worldviews we're talking about, you know, how the white man's way is like that. And we never fit in there, you know, because the white people are consumers, you know, greedy.
There was once a Lakota holy man who dreamt what was to be. And this was long before the coming of the Wasichus. He dreamt that a strange race had woven a spider's web all around the Lakotas. And he said, "When this happens, you shall live in square gray houses in a barren land. And besides those square gray houses, you shall starve." And you can see that he meant these dirt-roofed houses in which we live. Sometimes dreams are wiser than waking.
What follows are the stories of some of these Wasichu who came to the American West from the mid-19th century onwards, of their motives and aspirations, and of the tragic impact of their arrival on the Indians.